Exploring elite dangers can be beautiful and profitable. Today, we are deep inside the Heart Nebula, and I'm going to show you how to scan faster, plot smarter, and late like a pro, all while chasing the galaxy's most valuable worlds. And geologicals aren't really ever worth your time. It's mostly biologicals that we're worrying about. Greetings, Commanders. Some journeys in elite dangers aren't just about the credit. Exploring the Heart Sector IRV B20 today, I'll take you through some of the most stunning sights here, show you the high-value planets to scan, and give you a quick guide in making exploration credits while soaking in all the views. And immediately getting jumped. Well, that didn't take long.
Looks like Cake is after us.
We're in the middle of nowhere. What are you people doing here? So, by the way, a good exploration ship's going to be the Mandalay, has really good handling, and you most definitely can get out of these escape vectors.
Marion Mars is offline.
You dumb pirate. There's actually something here? A starport built with an excavated asteroid offers a number of stations. Wait, what? So if you guys are used to flying out into the unknown, most planets don't actually have an asteroid base. But while we're here, we're most definitely going to be checking it out. So let's go and scan this area. Yeah, this is very weird. There's 36 bodies here. Now, typically what you're looking for is going to be more of the water worlds, or worlds that look more like Earth. They sell for a lot more data than some of your just like generic planets that have the rings around them. However, it's always nice to scan planets with rings because sometimes you'll find a double like platinum spot or something, and then you'll find a new place that might be the best to actually mine. Now, this is an actual asteroid base, which we've seen screenshots of, but we haven't actually gone inside of any asteroid bases yet. So I'm really excited to see what this is. I don't think this is made by a player. Just I was not expecting anything to be out here. Usually when you go out to the unknown, you're just by yourself. So I knew that players could make an asteroid base, but this appears to be one made by FDev. I was not expecting this. So it has the same typical mail slot. The place definitely looks really cool. I was not expecting this at all. All right, so this video is going to be mostly set up about the exploration. However, we'll go into more detail in a later on episode, which we'll have in a couple of days. So one thing to keep in mind on your galaxy map, it's going to be the most important thing actually. You have the Pilot Federation. You want to click on this area, and in the bottom here you have stars. There's going to be an acronym, KGB FOAM. These are going to be the only stars that refuel you. So as long as you have a fuel scoop on your ship, you can refuel at any of these stars and you won't be left stranded. Unfortunately, you're not always going to be next to one, so you do need to make sure that your journey has them close by, because you can run into a whole terrible situation where you're left stranded out in the middle of nowhere. And especially after you jump like 3 or 4 hours away. All right, so first off, we start with our FSS Scanner. So basically, you just want to move your A and D key around. You're going to notice that we have a whole bunch of symbols down here at the bottom. Usually in dead systems, you're not going to see like, so then you just pan around and you see how it has little white arrows pointing towards it. So then you lock into the area, you click on it, and then you just scroll down. And as soon as you get to one look, you're good to go. Now this is a gas giant. They're not really going to be worth too much. So we're not worrying about that one. You use your FSS scanner to see what's all in the area. This guy has a ring around it, so we could scan planet A1 to see if it has any like good mineable materials. And then if it does, then you'll be able to update the database for that. But the main thing we're looking for is water worlds and Earth-like worlds, because they give the most money. And geologicals aren't really ever worth your time. It's mostly biologicals that we're worrying about. Now, there's some that are much easier to find and better value. So if you're using ED Copilot, which is the voice speaking to us in the background here, she does a really good job of telling you what's valuable inside of a system that's already been scanned. If you're out in the unknown like we are, typically not too many places are going to be pre-discovered, so it's going to be a little bit harder to determine what's valuable or not. But most of the time it follows the same sort of pattern where the trees are going to be worth more than the random bacteria found on the ground, which is kind of funny since the bacteria is the hardest to find, but it's worth less. Now you can also make money just by honking systems, so that'll be using your deep space scanner and just like jumping through the areas. Now, one cool thing though is if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you find your own system, anything that you discover first, you're going to get the most money for. Now this one's going to be landable with 2 biologicals. That's actually a really good sign since that's going to get you a lot more money than the geological ones. A lot of the geological ones, just skip them. Now after you scan everything, one really useful thing is if you head over to your one panel and then click on system map, this is going to show you a detailed list of all the planets that you've scanned. And then you can sort of pick your destination. Like if a planet is going to be a gas giant, you're not going to be able to land there. So these ones, there's nothing more you can do except for the FSS scanner. You can get the detailed surface scanner if you want to, but there's not going to be any benefit for you. But the ones with the rings on them, these are going to be mineable planets. So you can scan the rings to see if there's any good usefuls to mine around there. And then from there on, you just want to click on the other planets here and you want to make sure that they are landable. You can see the different contexts of them. Some of them are going to be more metal, some are going to be more ice, and now typically water worlds would be the best to get the detailed surface scanner on, but we're going to focus on the FSS scanner for this video, so that's going to be your quickest way of making money. You just go to a system, you honk it, you do your FSS scanner, you'll get your discoveries, then you'll leave. Now there is the detailed one, but we'll go into another video for that since that'll be a little bit more interesting because we'll try to find us a first discovery in our next video. Now, when it comes to planetary landings, if you come in at a bad angle, it's going to automatically kick you out of your cruise mode, which is going to take you a very long time to actually get to the planet. There's a couple different ways around it. So you can come in at a 45-degree angle, and typically you'll be able to land on the planet without having this issue. Or if it kicks you out, usually if you go back into super. So it's kind of interesting the way that works, but technically knocking out first, you can go down there, it'll just stop at about 100 or so. So it'll still be longer than if you do the perfect angle to get inside the planet. But the reason why we came here is not necessarily for the money, but the nebula actually looks really beautiful, so that's the main reason why we wanted to come out here. I'm sure a lot of the planets around nebulas are already explored. If your goal is mainly just to get first discoveries and to make a lot of money, you want to go completely in the middle of nowhere, which means you don't want any nebulas or any like cool sites. You just want to be out in the black, because that gives you your highest chance of no one ever going there. But if you do pick a place that has a nebula, you get all the great sights. And by the way, this is typically how you want to approach a planet. That way you're able to get closer to the ground without having to have a major issue. You're dropping from orbital cruise, and then you'll activate your glide, which will let you glide down to the planet's surface. And then from here, you can use your SRV if you're wanting to get biologicals, or you can just go on foot to explore around the planets. One feature that a lot of planets have in Elite Dangerous is there's not really much danger when it comes to it. So your biggest issue is going to be oxygen. You're never going to have like creatures coming attack you in the current day. Now, in the future, would they update it to change that so something might come out of nowhere and start attacking you? I mean, that could be a thing eventually.
They say space is the
On some planets, you might even discover more Thargoid discoveries or stuff that other people haven't actually seen yet. Typically though, a lot of these planets is going to be kind of hard to find a easy place to land, so you'll be moving back and forth a whole bunch. And sometimes you'll get yelled at to slow down, which means that you found a good spot, but you're going a little bit too fast actually. Which is why the Mandalay or a smaller ship for exploration is actually better than a like Anaconda, for example, because that'll be harder to land. Some planets have been discovered, they've been mapped, but if they don't have any resources at all on them, you can actually get a first planetary landing also if you exit your ship. Alright guys, well this helped you figure out how to do your FSS scanning and honking. Let me know down in the comments down below. I'll see you guys in the next Elite Dangerous video where we'll go into more detail on the detailed surface scanners and hopefully find some of our first discoveries and first footfalls. Yeah, the Heart Nebula is so beautiful. We'll definitely be checking out the Heart Nebula and the Soul Nebula while we're out in the middle of nowhere.